could give health coaches one piece of advice to elevate their impact, what would it be?
Yeah, I think we touched on this earlier, and I would still reiterate that. And that's not honestly just for health coaches either, but it's so profound. It's learning your clients why. Okay, why? Why? Because as Tony Robbins says, without a why, the rest doesn't matter. So your why is super important. That's why you do things. That's why you get out of bed. That's why you go to the gym when you're super tired. That's why you eat a certain way because you want to model for your kids. So without that, everything else is not functional. And if you have that and you know the model of connection with your patients or clients, I think the next thing would be a really good communication with the doctors, or whoever is the flow person for your clients. So I love to keep in touch with all of our colleagues. I leave the door open and encourage, and I reach out. I reached out yesterday to a mold testing company for a patient who did mold home testing, and he was kind of confused why I was calling him. And I was like, well, I just want to go extra just to connect and just get your thoughts as a non-medical person. What are your thoughts on these numbers? Because, on my side, I'm clinical, I'm not a mold expert, but on your side, your testing remediation company, let's put our heads together and make sure that you think these numbers look as concerning as I also think. And I'll make sure we're just double checking here because the patient's symptoms were really in the gray zone. And so yeah, so I enjoy that. Not every doctor has maybe time for that, but every doctor will love that if they can. So, and a coach who's connected, a lot of times I will reiterate and reemphasize what our dietitian, Dana, who's also amazing, would tell patients because once they hear it from one, two, by the third person, they're sold. So if you have a really good connection and you share what your mission is and what you're doing for the patient, or if you have a sticking point and you can connect with the doctor, as long as they're open and willing, I think that will also make your care for your clients more effective.